So we heard earlier today that there was a big announcement planned for SEGA FES 2018. We did a whole video kind of making people aware of this big announcement. Later on in the day, SEGA of Europe and then SEGA of the US and everywhere, they started putting out a time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We were going to get some kind of special, some kind of huge announcement with this time kind of set in place here. So we did a live stream for it, and we were pleasantly surprised, at least I was, and I'm sure other longtime SEGA fans especially were. Looks like SEGA is going big here in 2018, and they're bringing back Shenmue for it. Now, we already know Shenmue 3 is coming out sometime in the near future. Remember, it was a Kickstarter, Sony is doing some funding and everything. It's coming to the PS4 and the PC. All of that's figured out. But one thing had been lingering for a while. If you remember last year, 2017, we found out about those URLs, the ShenmueHD.com, the Shenmue Remaster.com, and then rumors started swirling. Word was that Shenmue HD remasters were in the works, and they were slated to be released last year, 2017, and then we find out that they had more than likely been delayed, and that's why we had not seen them yet. Well, yeah, I guess they did get delayed because now we know they are coming this year, 2018. They announced all of this at their presser that they had here, a live stream about an hour ago or so. Yes, it is happening, and there's a bunch of little details that they sent out to press as well. So here are the box arts here for the PS4 and the Xbox One version. That's right, it is coming to the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, specifically through Steam. In fact, the Steam page is already up. You may have seen that PS4 logo only on that trailer. That's because it's only coming out on the PS4 in Japan. There's no other option in Japan. Everywhere else, though, Xbox One and PC will also come along for the ride. They will have an updated user interface. They'll have a choice of modern or classic controls. Japanese audio will be available for the first time for a global audience. Of course, that English audio is also available, and they will have fully scalable screen resolutions, which tells me more than likely 4K will probably be in the mix. For example, if you have a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X, or of course you're on the PC, you should be able to get a full 4K image out of this game, and that is awesome. It's cool to see this because Shenmue 2 was only ever on the original Xbox, so to have it now on modern systems with the first one and the second one so you can get all of that in before Shenmue 3 comes out is awesome. The only thing is we don't know when it's coming out in 2018. We just know 2018. I would expect maybe summer, maybe early fall. That makes sense. And then, of course, people were confused. Why is there no Switch version? More than likely, we heard about it in 2017. It's supposed to come out in 2017. This has probably been in development since early 2016, maybe late 2015. That's the best guess I can give you. Sometimes it's hit or miss. We don't know why, because I don't really think it's going to sell the best on the Xbox. But, of course, Shenmue 2 was only on the Xbox stateside and everything, so there honestly might be some people who only know Shenmue from the Xbox. So there you go. I mean, in the West, it at least makes sense. But it's clearly, I think it's going to sell the best on the PlayStation and maybe even Steam. In fact, there's a chance that the HD Collection 1 and 2 sells better than Shenmue 3, which is really weird to think about. And then, not to leave Switch fans, I guess, out in the cold, they did announce SEGA Ages, which is going to have 15 different classic games going to the eShop, which is very weird. We're going to talk about that in a minute as to why that's a little odd. But a few of the games that they did show off included Sonic the Hedgehog, Thunder Force 4, Phantasy Star. That might be the full Phantasy Star series, although they just showed the first Phantasy Star logo and then, of course, the first Sonic the Hedgehog logo. Now, the real weird thing here is Virtual Console's coming eventually, and this seems to be what would be part of the Virtual Console. I don't really know what that's about there, unless there really is some subscription service in place down the road, and SEGA just didn't want to keep waiting for the Virtual Console. They were just like, you know what, we're just going to put our games on the eShop. We believe these are going to be all separate, and that's why it's a little odd to see this. I guess it could be one big, just SKU, but I think it's going to be separate, and it's going to be under the SEGA Ages kind of blanket. Like, that's the title for it. So it's good to see, I guess, some of these classic games coming over to the Switch, but it's odd because that should be part of the Virtual Console. But hey, there you go. You at least know Sonic Phantasy Star and Thunder Force, and then I guess 13 other games in all of Sega's library coming over. I'd like to see some stuff outside of the basics with the Genesis stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing a Saturn game, a Dreamcast game, like a Jet Set Radio coming over, something like that. But as far as we know now, I would just expect Genesis and then be pleasantly surprised if anything from the later systems come over. They also announced the Megadrive Mini. Now, we talked about this in a Newswave extra prior, where we heard about an interview that Yahoo Japan had with the Sega CEO, and they essentially said, you know, wait and see, or the CEO, wait and see, basically. We would like to bring these over to Japan, because right now it's mostly in the Americas and then Europe. We'd like to bring it over to Japan, and they are doing that. The Megadrive Mini appears to be real, as they showed it and everything. 2018 release date, but we don't know a few other details. According to a lot of outlets, it's not the AT Games one, the one that is kind of junky and a lot of people don't really like because it has some weird menu systems. The emulation's poor and it crashes with quite a few games, actually, more than you'd think. It looks like it might just be Sega, maybe with an internal manufacturing company or something that they're working with internally, maybe through a first party or something, or maybe it is something with Retrobit. Hard to say. We're going to wait till people actually get these in their hands or they show them off further, and then we'll know more about how related they are to AT Games. And then the last announcement that they really showed off that was, I guess, a little less known to a lot of people was a new Sakura Wars is in development currently. Of course, there was one on the Wii, and then back on the Saturn, PS2, PlayStation, and then the older systems as well. Now, this is a game that a lot of people don't know about. I understand why they really, I mean, they spent maybe a minute or two on this game. I get that. It's going to be interesting to see if that even comes stateside, if it even leaves Japan, because it may just honestly stay in Japan and never get localized outside of there. But if you're a fan of the Sakura Wars series, there you go. It is coming out. I didn't see any type of system or anything else, just saying, hey, it's a development, fans of the series, it is coming eventually. So there's a little bit of everything for pretty much every system there, whether it's older style games coming over to the Switch, or the big announcement of Shenmue 1 and 2 finally coming back. I'm so happy to see this remaster finally announced. I'm getting this game like right away. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna get it on. Honestly, I might just get it on the Xbox because, of course, the X is more powerful than the PlayStation, and why not at that point? But yeah, I'm excited. I think a lot of people are to see this finally get announced. We've been teased for this thing for over a year now after those URLs became public, or at least publicly known. I'm excited. That's the biggest announcement I could see from this thing, is the Shenmue 1 and 2 remaster. Some people in Japan are probably excited for the Megadrive Classic Mini getting announced for their region. And maybe you're a fan of the retro games and you're really happy to hear that Sega is making an initiative to bring 15 of their games to the eShop, apparently over the summer. Either way, there's a lot for everybody here, so I think it was a good presentation from a company like Sega. They weren't going to show up with a massive announcement or a massive direct style thing like a Nintendo, or they're not going to drive a Porsche up onto the stage like Microsoft did that. This is Sega, who is technically working on a budget most times, so keep that in mind. Either way, cool to see Shenmue. I'm sure Shenmue fans are super excited. Sega fans are very excited right now, and this is a good way to get into the series. So if you missed out on it back on the Dreamcast or even the original Xbox, hey, look into it. Seriously, it's a good game, it's a good series, and it's going to lead into Shenmue 3. So pick up this collection to see if you even like the game before you jump into Shenmue 3. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully this got you caught up on what Sega did announce at their FES 2018 event that they live streamed in Japan a few hours ago. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.